Hey guys, it's Rick. We're back. We're into April, even though this is probably going to be, let's see, April. You're probably going to watch this like the end of May. We're into April with reviews. I got 4 movies to talk about, so the video should be nice and short and sweet. 3 of these are on physical, even though I held up only 2 movies. I forgot I bought one, which has not been shown in a video yet, so you guys are going to get a sneak preview. Excuse me. But the first movie we're going to talk about was a very highly anticipated movie. Came out at the very end of March. Watched it at the very beginning of April. However, this movie took me 3 times to get through. So, full disclosure up front before we dive in. The first time we sat to watch it, I was exhausted. I had a very long day. Wasn't feeling great. And watched the first half of this movie. Was wide awake. And I just fell asleep. Like, I was exhausted. So I ended up sleeping all the way through, saw the very end of the movie, which was a bummer. Then I tried to rewatch it like a week later. And I got about an hour and a half in. I started getting tired eyes. I paused it. I was like, I'm going to finish this. I watched the rest the next day. So this took me 3 times to get through, but it wasn't the movie's fault. I will start out by saying that. The movie is Godzilla vs. Kong on HBO Max. I know a lot of you guys are like, you fell asleep during Godzilla vs. Kong? Yes, I did. First time I was dead tired. Probably shouldn't have watched the movie. But I got through the movie, and the fight scenes in this film were really fun. I really enjoyed the fight scenes. However, I did not really enjoy anything else about this movie. I did not care for the human characters. They're made to be so dumb in this movie, in my opinion. That's the big problem with a lot of the Monsterverse. They're struggling to find the perfect mixture of human and monster characters and have a well-written script. Like, it's like the focus is either on the humans, and the humans are really good, but there's no monster. Godzilla 2014. Or, in the example of this movie, the fights are awesome, the monster stuff is really fun, but the human characters are just like, throw a script at them, just, haha, Brian Tyree Henry, who was funny in this movie, but did the movie need to be funny? I don't think so. He was throwing out some of the one-liners were horrible. Other ones were pretty funny. I laughed at them. So, I'm sure on IMAX or the big screen, the fight scenes would have been that much cooler, although I have a nice sized TV in my living room, a 4K TV. But I didn't love this movie. I probably liked it less than King of the Monsters, Godzilla 2014, and definitely less than Kong Skull Island, which I think has probably been the best so far of the bunch. This was just okay to me. I know that's probably going to be controversial, but that's, how I felt about it. I give it a 2.5 out of 5. Like I said, the fight scenes were fun, but that doesn't make up for the rest of the movie, in my opinion. And the rest of the movie is not very good, in my opinion. It's not very well written, well acted, I guess. So yeah, 2.5 out of 5 for Godzilla vs. Kong. The next movie we watched spawned out of my last video, going to the secret stash, but also it was Easter night. We had taken RJ back to his mom's house, and this is an Easter movie, if something like Die Hard is a Christmas movie. So this is officially an Easter movie, guys, and I finally cracked open my Arrow video release of Mallrats. This was my first exposure to Kevin Smith. And it wasn't even the unedited version. It was the ABC version of Mallrats. I remember being over at my grandmother's house, being in a back bedroom, and this movie came on TV, and it was funny, and it was goofy. I was young at the time. I wish I knew what year exactly Mallrats was on ABC. I mean, the movie came out in 95. So it was probably like, early 2000s, I would guess, that I saw it. I was young, and then I found Clerks, and I watched the unedited version of this, and I love this. First off, the transfer of this looks phenomenal. There's so many bonus features that I cannot wait to get into. to watch, but there's so many awesome bonus features. Like, the list of bonus features is like all this stuff. But the cool thing is, this also has the ABC TV cut, which I need to watch at some point because I want to see how bad the TV cut was. It's only 85 minutes, and I'm just curious to see what that cut of the movie is like now, some 20 years later. So, like I said, this is an Easter film because they go to the mall and the Easter Bunny is there. And, you know, a kid gets caught on the escalator, and I hope his pants get caught, and a bloodbath ensues. If you guys don't watch this movie, you're going to think I'm a really crazy person, but if you haven't watched Mallrats, you totally should, because it's a line from the movie. Fantastic cast: Joey Lauren Adams, Ben Affleck, Jason Lee. Reading the trivia about this movie and all the people that they were trying to get in it: Seth Green, Leonardo DiCaprio, read for a part, Mark Wahlberg. And they thought this was the movie that would end up killing Kevin Smith's career. He came out with a little flick called Chasing Amy, which definitely revitalized his career. But this has gained a cult following, and I've always really, really enjoyed Mallrats. It's one of my favorites. It's incredibly quotable. Me and my buddy Tom back in high school would watch this movie all the time and talk in Mallrats. The Stan Lee part of this film was referenced in the movie Captain Marvel, and probably one of the coolest things I've seen in a Marvel movie because of being such a big Kevin Smith fan. Knowing how Kevin Smith is, I can imagine when he saw that cut of the film in Stan Lee's, one of his last cameos, reading the script from Mallrats and rehearsing his lines on the bus, I can just imagine Kevin Smith being like, how is my life real? Like, this is insane. But this is, I love the movie. It actually went up for me over my last rewatch, which was probably like 4 years ago. This sits at a 4 out of 5 for me. I really, really enjoy it. And like I said, I need to check out the TV cut of the film to see how bad it is. Also, this has the theatrical version, the TV cut, and the director's cut, which is like 2 hours long. I don't think I've ever watched that. So I'm familiar with the beginning basically taking place at a soiree, a banquet, because it's actually referenced in the regular movie. Jason Lee, I think, steals almost every scene he's in, and he has some of the best lines in the film. And it's just really good. So Mallrats, this being the Arrow release, 4 out of 5. The next thing we checked out was a movie that had me intrigued a while ago. Just kind of got pushed to the back burner. Got it off Facebook a while ago. And finally sat down to watch it as we wanted a funny movie. And it's Irresistible, starring Steve Carell and Rose Byrne. Written and directed by Jon Stewart from The Daily Show. So this movie had given me serious Wag the Dog vibes through the trailer. Wag the Dog, if you have not seen it, is a fantastic political comedy with Dustin Hoffman and Robert De Niro. I highly recommend it. I believe it was directed and written by Barry Levinson, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but my gut tells me that's the case. The movie wasn't as funny as I hoped it would be. However, it was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed several parts of the film. It's a very interesting look at the politics system. You know, basically, Steve Carell finds a video on YouTube of this guy played by Chris Cooper, who's a retired Marine, and he is a Democrat. He's not a Republican, although he's in a Republican area. He gives off serious Republican vibes to him. And then the Republican convention hires Rose Byrne to get an opposing candidate. And it talks about how screwed up the behind the scenes politics are, how money is used and involved in politics. And it doesn't try to low blow either, either side, the Republican or the Democrat. But I found it pretty interesting. Was not expecting where the movie goes, so that was a good thing. And there's a few laugh out loud moments in the film as well. I'm hitting the camera or the table. And it wasn't consistent laughs, but it was fun. I gave it a 3 out of 5. I don't know if I would need to watch it again. It's a good satire film, but I don't know if it's going to stay on the shelf. Probably won't make the shelf, but I do recommend it. 3 out of 5 for Irresistible. So I will set that over here. Try not to shake the table. Then the last thing we watched, which was the title I forgot to hold up. I forget how I was posing in the thumbnail. I was voting. This is a triple feature that, spoiler alert, I have not shown in a video yet, so I don't own this yet. No, I own it. It's just sitting with a ton of other stuff that I need to show. And I had only seen one of these movies before, which was the top movie, Friday. And we watched Set It Off. It's a movie that Bridget recommended checking out. It was cool because it was directed by F. Gary Gray, who did Straight Outta Compton. He's done other movies too. I went and looked at his filmography after we watched it. It says it's the director's cut. I wonder, I didn't realize that. I wonder if that movie was much different. It was like 2 hours and 5 minutes long. I need to watch, by the way, I've not seen Menace to Society. I need to watch that with, it's Cuba Gooding Jr., right? No. Is he? Jada Pinkett's in it, but is Cuba Gooding Jr. in that film? Oh, and Friday was directed by F. Gary Gray, too. That was the other movie. So, Set It Off is basically about 4 friends, all down on their luck. Queen Latifah, Jada Pinkett Smith, Vivica A. Fox, and the other girl is Kimberly Elise, who I don't think has been in much. Also, John C. McGinley, Blair Underwood. The movie starts out with a bank robbery. Vivica A. Fox is working there. She knows one of the bank robbers. The bank then fires her because she knew one of the bank robbers and didn't follow exact protocol. And they all are dealing with their own personal troubles. And they decide they need to rob a bank to make ends meet. And then they get into this. They end up, I don't want to spoil it, but the movie's over 20 years old. They end up not just robbing one bank, and the characters kind of like start going different ways. And there's lots of craziness that ensues in the film. It's a very dramatic film. There's lots of action as well. My problem with it is, and my problem with it is I watch too many movies, basically. So obviously these are 4 people who aren't professionals. They're not trained bank robbers. So they make a ton of rookie mistakes. I guess it bothers me how long it takes the police to catch up to these rookie mistakes. I feel like if after one robbery, based on what happens, stuff would have been able to get solved, but you wouldn't have a movie there. That's a gripe with it. I tried to be like, no, it's a movie. It's like, just, you're watching a movie. So the characters are really good. Can't believe where the movie ends up. I'd Set It Off a 3.5 out of 5. Like I said, I love Friday. Excited to check out Menace to Society. I had owned Friday. I'm pretty sure I pulled it off my shelf. Yeah, I pulled it off my shelf. I don't know if I had owned Menace to Society, but I have not seen it. I need to watch it. Nope. So I either pulled it off my shelf, and like I said, Bridget asked me if I had Set It Off. I didn't, so I bought the triple feature off Amazon. Spoiler alert for a future video when I pull it out of a bag and say, look what I got. So Set It Off, 3.5 out of 5. And that is it, guys. That's everything for the first week of April. What I watched, what I reviewed here for you guys. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know you enjoyed it by leaving comments down below. Let me know what you guys have been watching. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you don't do so already. Hit the bell notification so you know when new videos are dropping on the channel. Even though the schedule, which hopefully I'm still sticking to when this video drops in like a month, is Tuesdays and Fridays. Also, be sure to check out the description box down below where you can find tons of links. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd, where I review all the movies I watch, Blu-ray.com profile, Amazon wishlist, eBay store, the link to the Movie Hoarders trailer and the pre-order, a documentary that I'm going to be a part of in July. Also, my P.O. Box and email address, which I don't know if I said already, can all be found down below. That is it, guys. So as always, until next time, water. Who's down the movie? Weren't expecting it. I scared you. I came in hot. Karate Man. Bruise on the inside. Bye.